touch different ones. What are you doing?
Second 5.
So I do 1. So 9. And I do that one.
Yeah.
And then you start at 6.
I start with Veronica.
And then,
yeah.
I mean, you can have a look at them if you want, but it's just that I didn't want everyone to touch all the all the different pages. Obviously, you say before, you know, as you say the station.
Yeah. Yeah.
You say that and then reply.
So we title, then that, we adore you, O Christ, and we praise you. Yeah, and then we read.
Simon. Or you can say what station it is. And
I'll copy you when you do it.
So just turn them.
Yeah.
You've got. Just turn them 2 pages over because you're doing them.
Yeah.
Turn it over so Brian can.
Yeah.
Look, it says don't touch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
You turn them over now. Turn them over. Do you want to look at what you're doing?
If you start from 11, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. We'll be starting the Stations of the Cross in a few minutes, and I've chosen some stations that are entitled Justice and Peace Stations of the Cross because obviously reflecting what's going on in the world right now. Welcome to those joining us online. It is the first time we've used the cameras in this way, so please do bear with me as I move cameras and try and move everything in the right place, but hopefully it should all work out and you should get most of the stations on your screen as we're reading. So we'll just start in a minute or 2.
The first station, Jesus is condemned. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. No proper evidence, no justification for passing the death sentence. The crowd eager for blood, the self-righteous religious leaders puffed up with pride and hypocrisy, misusing their power and authority, keen to be rid of this troublemaker who is constantly challenging them. Pilate, too scared to do the right thing, trying desperately to distance himself, yet unable to wash himself clean of his involvement. Barabbas, guilty as sin, walks free. How ironic. The only one free of guilt is the one who has to die, condemned by those he came to save. We see injustice all around us, but do we challenge and confront it head on, as Jesus did? Lord, help us to think of others, to place their concerns before our own. Open our eyes to look out for the outcast and the stranger, for it is then that we welcome you. The second station, Jesus carries the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. The wooden cross, an almost unbearable weight, difficult to carry, no easy place to grip hold. The wood rough and jagged, tearing into the flesh, somehow made heavier by the guards' jeers and harsh treatment. Betrayed by a kiss, sold for 30 silver coins, the price of friendship comes cheap. Denied 3 times over by a beloved disciple. Surely too much suffering for one man to bear. We can be so wrapped up in our own lives that we fail to notice the pain of those around us. Lord, help us to be more aware of the problems that burden our friends, family, and all your people near and far. Give us the desire to journey with them, to carry their load. The third station, Jesus falls for the first time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Weak from the beatings, pushed roughly along by the soldiers, stumbling blindly, sprawled on the ground, bloody knees and grazed hands, searing pain, laughter and more shoving, looking foolish, utterly humiliated, all for our sakes, the God of love. We all know the embarrassment of looking a fool in front of others, especially those we want to impress. Lord, grant us the gift of sensitivity, that we may act with kindness and compassion to all people. Teach us to love unconditionally and to offer support to those who fail. The fourth station, Jesus is face to face with his mother. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Watching and waiting, a helpless bystander, just another face in the crowd. Flashbacks to that first encounter with the angel. Words too mysterious to understand. A child, how can this be? Joseph's gentle acceptance. No recriminations, no harsh words. Then the day we almost lost him, an ache tearing my soul in two. Even then he was marked out as special, more God than man. The miracles, signs and wonders. Such love and compassion for the poor and the lonely, the hungry and the outcast. Such love, and now this, the mob braying for his blood, insults, jeers, humiliation. A sword pierces my heart. Mary accepted God's plan for her with humility and grace, trusting in his love and kindness, guidance, but we are to be used to making decisions and choices based on our own judgment. Lord, grant us the wisdom to recognize that you alone can see the bigger picture. Help us to trust you completely, even when the way ahead seems painful and bleak. The fifth station. Simon of Cyrene helps carry the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Keep my head down. Stay out of trouble. It's nothing to do with me. I don't want to get involved. This guy, Jesus, seems like a good sort. Can't work out what they've got against him. Better not argue, though, not when the guards are waving spears around. My, this cross is some weight. No wonder the poor fellow couldn't manage it, especially given the beatings he's had. How often do we come across unfair situations and say nothing for fear of getting caught up in the crossfire? Lord, take away our uncertainty. Make us bolder to act when others need our help, so that, like Simon, we can share their burden as a sign of our solidarity.
The sixth station. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Moved to pity by Jesus' plight, the crown of thorns digging deep into his forehead, blood and spit mixed together, sweat and tears streaming down, a face so humble and full of compassion. A sudden spontaneous movement pushing through the crowd, not stopping to think how the soldiers might react. No time to think of her own safety. Veronica gently wipes his face with her veil, eases his suffering with a loving gesture, a small act of kindness in a world bound up in the hatred of cruelty. Lord, do we have the confidence to go against the crowd and reach out to someone who is unpopular or unloved? Lord, give us the strength and purpose to stand up for the truth and not to worry about the consequences for ourselves. The seventh station. Jesus falls for the second time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Another fall, another humiliation. Not wanting to see this thing through, hoping against hope that there might be another way, an easier way, that God would not require such a difficult sacrifice, that this cup will pass me by. But no, I must suffer shame and embarrassment to become truly human, to share fully in the utter degradation endured by so many. This way I can look them in the eye and say, I understand your pain. I am one with you. No one likes to look foolish or a failure in front of other people. Lord, inspire us to show true compassion to all those who fall. Teach us not to be judgmental, but to welcome the opportunity to show your love to them. The 8th station. The women of Jerusalem weep for Jesus. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Unbearable suffering, hearts bursting with sorrow, desolation that knows no bounds, a river of tears, uncontrollable weeping and wailing. O women, weep not for me, weep rather for yourselves and your families. A suffering not understood in human terms, the ultimate sacrifice, the perfect act of love to redeem a fallen world. In our broken humanity, we find it impossible to fully comprehend the death of Jesus. Love for us, a love so perfect that it knows no bounds. Lord, give us the grace to see through your eyes so that we may respond to the cries of our brothers and sisters with generosity and compassion, to love you as you love. The 9th station. Jesus falls for a 3rd time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Yet another fall, this time worse than the 2 before. Scarcely enough strength to get up again. This agonizing pain is too much to bear. Truly a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, bruised and broken, despised, demoralized, crushed and pitiful. A lamb led to the slaughter, never even opening his mouth. Lord, we know that you have promised to always be there for us, no matter what we do. But it's hard to believe that promises when we feel utterly abandoned and alone. Encourage us to put our trust in you and turn to you in good times and bad. The 10th station. Jesus is stripped of his clothes. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Naked and exposed, nowhere to hide, no way to retain even the smallest scrap of respect. Teased and taunted, jeered and mocked as a king, now worse than the poorest of beggars, stripped to nothing. All trappings of dignity roughly torn away, the very opposite of worldly power and majesty. Endured so patiently, no word of protest or reproach. Lord, give us the courage to peel away the layers that we have built around ourselves for our own protection. Help us to embrace our vulnerability as a means of coming closer to our brothers and sisters and to you.
The 11th station of the cross. Jesus is nailed to the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you. Does man's inhumility to man know no bounds? Concentration camps, ethnic cleansing, torture, mindless violence, murder, rape, gun crimes on the streets, lack of care for God's wonderful creation, a man nailed to a cross, left to die a slow, agonizing death in the heat of the midday sun. What superhuman reserves of love are required to truly forgive the tormentors? A heart full of overflowing with love and compassion. How often do we nail Jesus to the cross with our harsh words, our lack of consideration for others, and our self-centeredness? Lord, help us to overcome the dark side of our natures and to focus on the light so that may we reflect your love in the world around us. The 12th station of the cross. Jesus dies. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you. Such a dreadful way to die. Long, drawn out, every breath a new torture. No quick, easy bullet or poisoned cup. The mouth on fire with unbearable thirst, lips parched and dry. A drink is offered. Vinegar, not water. Bitter tasting and sour. Smarting against cut lips, reopening the wounds, making the blood and the pus ooze once again. The bitter vinegar, like the bitterness of the mob, clamouring for his blood. The end is near. The sky darkens. It is finished. For a moment, it seemed as though God had deserted him. But we know that without Jesus' death, there could be no resurrection and no promise of eternal life. Lord, when the problems of life seem to overwhelm us, remember that today, tomorrow will bring a new day, full of new possibilities. The 13th station of the cross, Jesus is taken down from the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you. Jesus is taken down from the cross. My name is Joseph. I come from Arimathea. I have been a follower of Jesus for a while now, but in secret. Okay, I didn't join in like the other members of the council when they turned against Jesus, but I didn't exactly do anything much to stop them. I was too afraid for my own safety. Well, maybe I didn't stand up for Jesus while he was still alive, but I can do something for him now. I plucked up my courage and asked Pilate for the body. Pilate seemed surprised at that request, but he said yes. I think he was starting to feel guilty. He knew he should never allowed Jesus to be executed. Lord, forgive us for the times when we have lacked boldness. Give us the courage to act without worrying about how it may impact upon us. Take away our hearts of stone and give us hearts of fire that burn with love for you. The 14th station of the cross. Jesus is placed in the tomb. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A hurried burial, a race against time to finish the preparations before the Sabbath begins. Joseph and Nicodemus, both secret disciples, faithful of the Jews, go together to prepare an empty tomb for Jesus' body. Wrap it in a clean burial garment, place it in the tomb, and roll a large stone over the entrance to prevent anyone getting in and disturbing it. The faithful group of followers trudge home, their hearts heavy and sad, unsure of what tomorrow will bring. Joseph and Nicodemus kept the lowest profile of all disciples, and yet they were the ones who took center stage in the final scenes of Jesus' death. Like them, we may be slow to make a commitment, but God's patience is boundless. He never gives up on us. Lord, be our inspiration on our journey, that we may work faithfully to bring about your kingdom of love, of justice, and of peace.